CTV News at 6 with Hudson Mack.
Greater Victoria could be hit on Thanksgiving Monday. The union representing BC Transit drivers and mechanics served 72-hour strike notice today, effective 1 o'clock Monday afternoon. There are no talks scheduled over the long weekend, but the union says it wants to keep talking. The Canadian Auto Workers Union CAW Local 333 represents 650 BC Transit drivers and mechanics in Greater Victoria. The main issues in negotiations are wages and contracting out. Union members have approved strike action by a 98% vote. The local says it is willing to keep negotiating, but says the employer will not. BC Transit says it has made a fair and reasonable offer. Transit says it is disappointed but remains hopeful.
We're certainly disappointed. BC Transit feels its offer was reasonable, it was fair, and is certainly in line with other offers that have been accepted in recent weeks in the public sector, and it has to fall within the province's cooperative gains mandate, and we feel it was our very best offer.
The union served strike notice today after a week of negotiations. The CAW blames BC Transit. It says it is willing to be at the negotiating table through the Thanksgiving weekend, but can't bargain with an empty chair.
That is absolutely not true. BC Transit has always wanted to bargain, has always wanted to settle this at the bargaining table. That is the place for this to be resolved. But at this time, we did 40 hours of negotiations this week. Our very best offer is on the table, and we remain far apart from the CAW on both wages and benefits, and we have nowhere else to go with our bargaining.
If there is no movement over the weekend, the strike notice will take effect at 1 o'clock Monday. However, Handy-Darth service will not be affected if that happens. The union does say Tuesday's commute to and from work will not be affected by any job action, and that a minimum 24 hours notice will be given for any future job action that could affect riders. After a day of strike action at UVic, CUPE union locals at the university are returning to bargaining next week. The union says it has ended work to rule and overtime bans in hopes agreements can be reached with the employer. CUPE says all non-monetary issues at UVic have been agreed to, and negotiations are now shifting to wages and job security. Should next week's talks collapse, the unions say they will give 24 hours notice before any job action. The province's licensed practical nurses have voted to ditch the Hospital Employees Union and join the BC Nurses Union in an effort to be recognized as professional employees. BC is now the fourth province after Nova Scotia, Quebec, and Manitoba to have practical and registered nurses represented by the same union. There were more people in Greater Victoria without a job last month. The September unemployment numbers show a slight uptick in the capital region, but across Canada, the employment picture was better. StatsCan says the country added more than 52,000 jobs last month, more than 5 times what was expected. Economists say the devil is in the details of Canada's latest jobs report, and roughly 2/3 of those 52,000 jobs were in the self-employment category. Economists say those types of jobs are often lower paying and less productive. In BC, 5,700 new full-time and 6,200 new part-time jobs were created. That sent BC's unemployment rate up 1/10 of a point to 7.4%. Victoria's jobless numbers also rose, going up 1/10 of a point to an even 6% from 5.9. In the U.S., unemployment fell to 7.8%, its lowest level in 4 years. Saanich firefighters are wrapping up their investigation at the home of a prominent artist, which was the scene of a serious fire yesterday afternoon. Once firefighters knocked down the fire on Vista Bay Road near Cadboro Bay, they began removing paintings, trying to salvage what is described as painter Paul Huttner's life's work. Huttner was home alone at the time of the fire. Saanich fire officials say the fire started in Huttner's basement studio, where he had just been working before going upstairs to frame some artwork. That's when Huttner tells investigators he heard the smoke detector go off and valiantly tried to douse the flames.
He went downstairs and discovered smoke in the room. He made an initial attempt to extinguish the fire with a portable fire extinguisher and was unsuccessful. So he went and grabbed the garden hose and started to pour water on the fire, and the smoke level was so thick it drove him out of the house.
Fire officials say there is nothing suspicious about the fire, but they aren't sure how exactly it started. The cause may be electrical in nature. Firefighters estimate damage to the home at approximately $250,000, plus the value of expensive artwork inside. There is no word how many pieces of art were damaged or destroyed. Huttner's paintings sell for thousands of dollars each. Huttner was taken to hospital for smoke inhalation and released last night. His wife was not home at the time of the fire. The animal rights group, known for its outlandish protests, had the tables turned on it today by a group of Victoria animal lovers who say PETA, the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, are hypocrites.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
A giant PETA turkey was handing out logs of tofurkey in downtown Victoria today, urging people to go vegan and gobble veggies, not birds, and go cruelty-free for Thanksgiving. But the birds were not given a warm Victoria welcome. Instead, they were met with a counter-protest from the Victoria faction of Friends of Animals, who says PETA is saying one thing and doing another, and that it should practice what it preaches.
It's common to hear that they are animal advocates, but they're actually killing quite a few animals every year at their headquarters. They take in 2,000 to 3,000 or more animals, and they kill them right there at the headquarters. I saw it myself in 2001 when I was an intern there.
Well, PETA is a shelter of last resort, so most of the animals we take in are either too ill, abused, they're injured, or they're too aggressive to adopt out. People can visit our website to find out more. All our information is on there, and I really encourage people to visit it and learn more about the animal overpopulation crisis.
We protest them now, and we'll protest them again if they come back to the city. The way that they treat other animals is atrocious.
For more information on Friends of Animals, go to friendsofanimals.org or thevictoriavegan.com. And for more information on PETA's policies when it comes to killing pets, go to PETA.org. The company behind the nationwide tainted meat recall, XL Foods, says it had a plan to deal with E. coli bacteria, but the Canadian Food Inspection Agency says it wasn't followed. E. coli was first detected in XL's beef on September 4th. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says it asked XL for information by September 8th, but the company missed the deadline by 2 days and the documents it supplied were unusable. The CFIA has since closed the slaughterhouse. The plant in Brooks, Alberta, handles 35% of the beef slaughtered in Canada. The recall stretched across Canada and has affected a number of grocery outlets on Vancouver Island. Victoria police got more than they expected when they arrested a 36-year-old man on outstanding drug warrants. 4 liters of GHB, the date rape drug. The suspect was picked up late last night getting out of a cab at a downtown hotel. Inside his backpack, police found 2 bottles filled with GHB as well as methamphetamine. He'll face new charges and is being held on the earlier warrants. After 6.5 years behind a construction fence, the newly renovated Oak Bay Beach Hotel is throwing open its doors this weekend to Kate's Streetside Cafe. The cafe is the first part of the completely rebuilt Oak Bay Beach Hotel to open to the public. And if you look close enough, you may be able to recognize some of the cafe's details, such as the original hotel's front door from 1927 used as the entrance of the cafe, and beams from the snug pub used as detailing in the cafe's ceiling.
We carried some memories from the past into a remarkably sophisticated new building. And then we threw the doors open and the lineup was there and our guests arrived and we're back in the business that we love.
We have Australian meat pies and sausage rolls. Everything's made from scratch. We have beautiful scones, homemade bread, fabulous coffee.
We enjoy it very much and we're looking forward to having snacks here and stopping for coffee. It was a big endeavor.
The rest of the hotel's amenities and guest rooms are scheduled to open in mid-November. As many of us prepare to stuff, cook, and serve that perfect turkey to our families this weekend, a Nanaimo man is doing the same, but he's preparing to serve an entire community. Homeless advocate Gord Fuller spent today in the kitchen preparing a turkey for his group's 5th annual Thanksgiving dinner. The feast is open to everyone, and organizers expect to feed turkey and all the fixins to more than 300 people.
Well, I myself am doing 6 turkeys, and we will probably have about 24 or 26 turkeys cooked overall. Plus, we've got people doing hams, potatoes, vegetables. Yeah, and a lot of people, they don't have family, so we like to see them come down because we become their family.
Tomorrow's dinner takes place at St. Paul's Church on Chapel Street beginning at 4 in the afternoon.